welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Red Pill episode number 33. Very special episode because of a very special number. And today we're going to be focusing mostly on technical analysis because we are in the final moments of any pullbacks or corrections in the short term before continuation to new all-time highs. Just wanted to start this one out by showing some gratitude for everyone. I appreciate all of you. Anyone who's tuning into this week's episode, much love to you. Sending high vibes your way. If it's morning time wherever you're at, go ahead and grab yourself a coffee or a cup of tea. If it's the night time wherever you are, go ahead, grab yourself a glass of wine or a beer or a beverage of your choice. Get relaxed, get loose, chill out. It's going to be a good episode this week. So, middle of the month, everything's looking pretty solid. Before I get into the TA, just for anyone new who's joined over the past week or so and you haven't been given Discord access, go ahead and give me a message directly on Patreon. That way I can get you onboarded into our Discord. Please don't email me or comment your Discord username in this video post. I won't be able to get you added that way. You just need to go ahead and direct message me on Patreon with your Discord username and the last 4 digits behind your username, and I'll be able to get you added. The same thing as if you joined the Trading Wolves membership. If you haven't been given access to the Trading Wolves Discord category, go ahead and message me on Patreon as well. And just a quick little update for anyone who hasn't seen my new merch that's come out, and also for those of you that have been wanting me to tell you a little bit more about what's going on in my merch. I have a website that is watersabove.shop, and this is my web store, and I came out with these new blacked out merch designs on 11/11. Same day I did that podcast with Logan over at Decode Your Reality. If you haven't checked that one out, definitely check it out. It was all about magic, and it was really, really last minute, but it ended up being an incredible conversation. Gotta love Logan. He's an incredible guy. So anyways, this design that I made, I'll just quickly run through it with everyone, give you a quick little decode of what's going on here. So you should all know what these numbers are. It's a little bit different than my moon merch that I came out with last time. This is a whole new line, and I might be adding on to this, but for right now, I'm going to keep it with the blacked out vibe because of the Shemitah and us being in the sabbatical year, the year of Saturn, and this is a time of darkness. And the whole idea behind the blacked out matte black look of the merch was that those who wear this will be the light that shines through the darkness. And it's kind of a more deep, it's a deep concept. And I believe everything about this design had a lot of intention. I took a while to really think this all through thoroughly. And this first eye logo is what I call it. I'll let you know a little bit about it if you haven't already. It is the lunar cycle, of course, because that is what we are focused on with our market. And it's also the cycle that binds us to the matrix, you know, the woman's cycle being on the lunar cycle, everything coming back to this and how important it is. And this from full moon down to the new moon, which at the new moon we have the black pill. This being kind of the absorber of the light, if you will. And this is an interesting concept. I could talk about it more in the future. But actually, the reason why it's blacked out is because it's a clear pill. This is clear because the merch in the background is black. And this clear pill is sort of the graduation through the process. You know, you get to you get blue pilled your whole life with indoctrination, then you get taught the duality of consciousness on the more enlightened side of things, and then you're sitting there with that red pill blue pill duality that you have to kind of pick and choose from. The red pill is a little bit more enticing to you. You go for that and you start to learn, and then you start to learn that you're not even learning anymore, you're actually unlearning, and then your understanding goes to overstanding, and then it transmutes to innerstanding. And that innerstanding is where you get that clear pill where it's no longer about duality anymore. And this pupil of the eye, the iris, being the torus field, the torus being our matrix reality, and the organic system, the inorganic system being the 2 counter-rotating pyramid Solomon star system. that we've been parasited by. And that shows up in the symbology in religions quite normally, and it is destroying our world with mind control. This torus field system is actually the organic system, the system in which all organic life operates in. And this is what we need to come back to. Because when we come back to this, we actually start to become more balanced and we start to seek within. And within is where we start to unlock the true self, the godliness within us. So this is the shape of an eye. And of course, I'm calling it the first eye because that's what I believe the pineal gland actually is. I think the eyes on the sides are just the ones that show us the illusion. I always reference the eyes that see as the eyes on the sides that lie. And the pineal gland, the pineal body being unlocked is through this graduation process of understanding. It's not just about getting into yoga or practicing breathing techniques. It's so comprehensive and so multifaceted, and essentially what it truthfully is wonder. It's not picking sides. It's not choosing red pill or blue pill. It's graduating past that. And I feel like this entire logo has been given that meaning throughout all of the study that I've had. I kind of wanted to make something that was comprehensive, that was everything that has helped me kind of, how do I say this, plasmatize where I'm at in my journey into a design, if you will. And that's what this is. So, yeah. And on the back, we have a little decode at the bottom. I want everyone to eventually be able to tell me what this stands for. That'd be amazing. Got a little code for you, a little puzzle. And then we have Chief Wolf. Chief Wolf, the leader. And not necessarily me. This is you. This is what you are to your community, to your family, to your loved ones. You're chief. And you play that role for them as being the wisest member in your community. And this is what I want out of everyone. I want a global family where we're all together in this. We're all Chief Wolf across the globe. So that's you. That's your self-portrait right there. Such a beautiful design. I'm really happy with the way this entire thing turned out. And I have a colorized version of this too that I'll be releasing soon. And then this comes in a couple different styles. We have these regular t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and the crew neck sweaters. And of course, there is also a zip up. The zip up design is pretty clean. I actually really like the way it looks. It's a little bit more simple on the front. It's just the first eye logo and then the back Chief Wolf. But it does have the all blacked out zipper and everything. I really like the way this one's gonna turn out. Probably get one for myself. So anyways, anyone who's watching this right now, you're able to watch it because you're a Patreon supporter of mine, and patrons get 15% off of all my merch. I'll be extending this sale into a Black Friday sale that I do starting next week, and it'll be included in the merch, but the Black Friday sale will be actually a little bit higher. So you guys as patrons of mine get the best discount essentially on everything that I make. So yeah, it has all the information in the previous Patreon post that I made, but essentially all you need to know is the promo code. So it's the light 15 because that's who you are, the light, and 15 just because it's 15% off. So anyways, let's jump straight into the TA this week. Lots to say. We're getting bearish price action ever since we hit highs on the 10th of November. It's really beautiful to see this all come to fruition because I was mentioning having one last swipe of downside before the end of this bull run, and this is exactly what we're getting. And we're seeing that Bitcoin is kind of maintaining position right now. I was scamming through a bunch of altcoins and I was seeing some blood in the streets. There's a lot of coins that are down in the double digits today. This is just kind of what we need to expect during this stage of the bull run. So I'm going to break this down step by step, everything that I'm seeing here. What I want to do first is clean up my chart because there's so much going on. We could just go over here I'll hide the indicators and I'll actually hide both. Double click. Okay. So let's zoom out and see how we've been doing lately. If you see where this red line is, that's where the price action is currently, and we are just back testing those prior all-time highs around April. Oh, and also, I have an absolutely mind-blowing decode I'm going to release this coming week for patrons. It's going to be, I believe I will do a video on it, but it's going to give the significance behind the date of December 4th. A lot of you know by now that I see Bitcoin hitting an all-time high at least on the day of December 4th, but within maybe 48 hours of December 4th, 2021, which is coming up very soon. And I see that all-time high being in the region of $144,000. Can we go above? Can we go lower? Absolutely. It doesn't really matter to me at this point. Unless you just got into crypto very recently, perhaps this information is critical for you if you have Bitcoin in your portfolio. Most people do not have Bitcoin in their portfolio, so we're just looking at the Bitcoin chart to give us the overall energy and sentiment of the market, okay? And we know how powerful Bitcoin is because on this correction right here, which was 56% from high to low, we saw some of the top coins go down 80 to 90% in that event. And that is why it is important when we enter the bear market for everyone to consider having a little bit of Bitcoin in their portfolio to balance out the insanity in the volatility of the altcoins. Okay, even the top altcoins will have 90 to 95% corrections in this coming bear market. I know that hurts a lot of people. I know a lot of people think because of Meta or because of fucking SEC or whatever it is, and understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying this with any emotion whatsoever. I'm actually trying to help. I'm trying to help. Seriously. Because back in 2017, when Bitcoin hit 20K, anyone who was around saying that things will lose 95% of their value, guess what? They were losing popularity in their channels. People were getting mad at them, dislikes. But when this happened, Ethereum lost 95% of its value. XRP lost 95% of its value. Okay? So I'm not telling you this because I want to hurt people's feelings. I'm giving you the red pill. You know, I'm telling you just how it is. It's a very new asset class, and it has a lot of unsophisticated investors in it. That's just how it goes. Same thing happened with Amazon during the dot-com bubble. I believe Amazon lost about 87% of its value from top to bottom. And anyone who bought that dip right here is a genius now. You know, you could have put very little in Amazon, kicked back and relaxed, and you could be a multimillionaire today. And what's so amazing too is with crypto, you get to do it like 4 times faster than you got to do it with the tech stocks of the dot-com bubble crash. Whatever made it through at least. You know, and Bitcoin is the Amazon of the tech stocks. It's the big head honcho that holds the crown. So we are still in the early stages. And I'll clear something up too. I've heard a couple people comment this in the crypto chat talking about the idea of an 80% correction for Bitcoin. So I'll clear up everything about how I feel, right? I think Bitcoin, based on my technical analysis, based on decoding, based on all things considered, will go to 144,000. Let me show you a little bit as to why. So right here we have the logarithmic growth curve chart. Disregard a lot of the noise that's going on here, but at the top of the logarithmic growth curve chart, I'll go in a weekly so we could see the big picture. You can see that the past 2 bull runs, actually all 3 bull runs, hit the top of this logarithmic growth curve. The first one didn't really count because it was just brand new, you know? But if you could see, it's always hitting the top of this channel. Now, these past 2 bull runs of 2013 and 2017, we hit an all-time high within 24, maybe 30 hours of the new moon of December. Okay. So all I did was I went to the new moon date of December, which is the 4th, and I put it to the top of the logarithmic growth curve, and I got 144,000. I didn't think further than that. And then it started to blow my mind as I was, you know, I made this call. I have a Patreon post going back to like, I believe, excuse me, I believe it was probably April. It was like very early into me making a Patreon. And I exposed this, and I didn't actually have too much esoteric wisdom to come along for the ride. I knew that 144 was a significant number in music, and anyways, I didn't really know too much of the skeleton of how important and structural this number is on the world stage. So then I started investigating, and I found out that during the halving event back in May of 2020, the Bitcoin blockchain got halved, and now it's producing 144 blocks mined per day. So I said to myself, well, okay, the top of the logarithmic growth curve chart is on the new moon of December is 144,000. We know that as of May 2020 all the way to like May 2024, I think, we'll be producing 144 blocks mined per day. 144, half of that number is 72. 72 is the English ordinal for Bitcoin. Okay. So I just started to say to myself, like, I'm not going to overthink this. But then also on the other end of things, we have to know the downside. So as Bitcoin becomes more scarce, as the supply gets diminished, right now we're sitting at about 90% of the supply is and most of it's on cold storage, by the way. It's crazy how scarce Bitcoin is becoming. This tells us that we'll have diminishing returns and also diminishing losses. So this last bull run, we lost about 80%. This one, I see it coming down to the bottom of the logarithmic growth curve chart in a year later after it hits highs, and that's sitting around 52K. So why would I care about that? Well, it seems as if Bitcoin gravitates towards the bottom band after it hits an all-time high. And because it will grow less, that means it will fall less. So there was one big anomaly, and it was this right here. It was the pandemic. Now, from a technical perspective, though, this wasn't weird because all it did was double bottom. Now, a lot of people, they think that this is off because they're only considering the logarithmic growth curve chart, which I am not. I don't take one thing into consideration. I'm taking all things into consideration. So when Bitcoin had this pandemic and it crashed through the bottom of the logarithmic growth curve line, that was not weird because all it did was backtest lows, and it actually made a higher low, which is bullish. And then it went on to recover back to prior highs in the structure within like 150 days. This wasn't a crash. This was a reset, okay? This is good. This is what shakes people out. It's like this move right here. When all the cryptos had a big correction in May, that was a gift because that shakes out unsophisticated players and it gets people who have weak hands out of our market. And in the next bull run, we're going to have stronger hands because everything is going to price people out. We're either going to get priced out in Bitcoin by the literal price. We'll get priced out in Ethereum because gas fees will be too high. And then you're going to start to see things become like Polkadot and Chainlink will be trading in triple and three digits by default. Everything is just going to get exponentially more expensive, and the world, the masses, are going to get exponentially more poor because of hyperinflation in energy and food. Okay, so this is a very comprehensive thing that I'm sharing with everyone right now. But what I'm seeing is the top of the logarithmic growth curve chart being perfectly on the new moon of December, then followed by the bottom, which comes in around January a year later, which was what happened in this bull run, and then what happened in this bull run. It basically comes down to a bottom into December, January. You could see where this line is. Even though it came down again into August, it was just a double bottom. It was the same thing. And that's very normal in a big long-term 4-year structure to have a really large secondary shakeout. You could call it a double bottom, or in a Wyckoff method, you call it a spring. Okay, so there was your spring in the 2015 bear market, and here was your spring in the 2020 recovery into the new all-time high of the bull run. And with all things considered, this bottom right here is January 23rd, or 2023, excuse me. And this correction from 144K down to 52K would be somewhere around 65%. Okay, so even if it did come down 70%, what we're seeing here is that it's a flash. It happens very fast, where we just see the price maybe come down for a week or so, and then it recovers pretty fast because it gets oversold on macro time frame RSI. So when we get there, we'll touch base on that. But I do not think Bitcoin's going to lose 80% of its value unless it overextends above 144,000. If it wants to go to 210,000 or whatever, And, that would make sense for 80% losses, because that would essentially just put us at the same position as having 60% losses or 65% losses after hitting 144,000. All things considered, I do not see Bitcoin trading much below 50K while it's so scarce. Okay, that's a thing people need to take into consideration. I know a lot of people don't agree with that or don't see this market for that, but Bitcoin has over a decade of chart history going from a penny to $70,000. I don't think we could deny it anymore. Of course, there's black swans, but every time we get a black swan, Bitcoin still hits a new all-time high. So this all adds up to the answer of how I feel for the remainder of this bull run and where we're going after the bull run. It should clear everything up for everyone now. If Bitcoin does this, Ethereum will lose 85% of its value. XRP will lose up to 90% of its value. Easy. There is no outliers, because Bitcoin is the sun of this market. It is the energy. And when the main energy dies, everything dies with it. That's facts. It's happened before. I believe it will happen again. And I know people don't want it to be like that. But what you should actually try to do is, instead of being a permabull, you could become a wolf. And in this endeavor, you get excited for a 90% pullback, because I would be. And that's the difference here. When some people get offended by this idea of a 90% correction, it's because you're not an investor. All the richest people in the world get excited for crashes. They get excited for Shemitah because they know what it brings. It brings the best discount ever. And that's what I'm seeking. And again, maybe seeking would be the wrong word. That's what I'm anticipating. I've done the hard work to see it for what it is through the code, through my technical analysis. And I'll be shorting this market for the next year if I need to. I'm going to take whatever the market gives me. I am not a bull. I'm not a bear. I'd rather not play either of those sides, because that's the duality of this market. We need to surpass that. And that's where we become investors. We don't have any emotion anymore to a particular side. We don't care if it goes up or down. We just know how to situate ourselves when it's down to prepare ourselves when it goes up. And we know how to situate ourselves when it's up to get out. You do that over and over again, you're going to stay winning. And then you won't need a job anymore. You won't need to run a business anymore, because you will be what the rich are, what the elites are. They are just investors. And that's a very nice place to be in this world, because they are the ones who are aware that everything that's shown on the mainstream media is just a distraction. It's a distraction to get the masses money transferred into their bank accounts. And that's why exactly they use things like crypto on the world stage, because they get to speed up the process of transferring wealth. They did it with tech stocks. It was insane how quick that transferred wealth. But look at how devastating that correction was in 2001. There's a lot of horror stories. Okay? The same thing goes with the housing market in 2007, 2008. The same thing goes with speculative tech stocks in the Chinese and Asian markets in 2015. We're in Shemitah now. People need to prepare themselves. I know a lot of people right now are fixated on this idea of a lengthened cycle. But that's why I want to release the decode that I'm talking about with December 4th and the bigger number, or the numbers around March, to show you why I do not see an extended cycle. And if we do get an extended cycle, it will be with some altcoins. It will be with a couple of different coins based on their Gematria. And I'm more than willing to see that for what it is. So we'll have to see how this all goes, because what I've noticed in this market already is that there's some random coins that just shot up, like Solana and Terra Luna, and I don't think they're going to have as bullish of an end of a bull run as we are having now, but maybe those are the coins that will go up for the final breath of air, where we would normally see a shitcoin cycle. So bear with me on this. Bitcoin's typically the first to hit a blow off top all-time high. Then that liquidity will flow into the top 50 cryptocurrencies, Ethereum being one of the strongest. Then after those blow off, we'll see that liquidity shift into the lower caps, call these shitcoins. that is probably the time we might see something like Terra Luna have its final moment. And the same thing with Solana. And because the full moon of January 2022 is named so appropriately, I wouldn't be surprised in that. So this is what's beautiful about this community, is because we have a long-term strategy. We're not just here to get through the rest of this bull run and then cash out and that's it. There's so much more to this. We're going to have a potential housing crisis. There's so much to learn. There's so much for me to teach. I still have so much information to share about credit cards and leveraging on debt. I'm working really hard to have a lot of things to focus on and sharpen our tools during the bear market, because that's where the most money is generated. It's during that bear market, after we get those huge corrections and we could start to reaccumulate. So the wolf will act like the bear during the bear market. We transmutate. We start collecting the berries, if you know what I mean. And that's what's so beautiful about venture capital. You don't need a lot to see a large amount of returns. And we're at the final moments of seeing this market go absolutely ballistic. So the fact that I'm sharing this with you so far in advance is like a gift. You get to prepare yourself emotionally, spiritually, consciously, in all ways for something massive about to come. It would be like Michael Burry telling you about the housing crisis 6 months in advance before it happened. You know, that's essentially what I'm trying to do for the world right now. And I know how I'm playing my cards. I'm not really too worried about how it ends up, because I'm sort of a longer term investor in this market, I suppose. I've accumulated most of my Bitcoin sub 10,000. I have all of my XRP below 18 cents. All of my I have bought back all my XRP just through trading. So I know I'm in a different place than most people. It may be easier for me to be a little bit more calm, but at the same time, remember the amount of pressure that's on me from sharing all of this code and doing what I'm doing on the world stage and having so many people follow along. It's quite a weight to bear. And I still want to do it with finesse and at the highest level, so that you could all be part of this wealth transfer too. You know, what I've learned is most crucial about how a market operates is all about managing emotions, managing fear. And then when we start to get inflated, it's all about managing greed. So you've heard me switch. Now, in the last month or so, I've spoken more about managing greed and less about managing fear, because that conversation was all down here when we were at lows. And a lot of people thought we were going to have a dead cat bounce going to 20 again. Same thing here. People thought we were going to go back to 30 again. And this is what markets do to people. They disregard technical analysis because of the emotional state that they're experiencing. But if they were able to read a chart and actually know what was going on here from a technical perspective, they would have seen all of these corrections as buying opportunities, especially with knowing that the full moon has brought every single one of these corrections, which I've exposed all the way back in April of this year. So from a technical perspective, what we're seeing right now is a back test of prior highs. This is very normal. You can see that this big area of trading range is holding strong above prior highs before the larger correction and the highs back over in March. So essentially, we flipped all the prior resistance, the resistance over here, 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 and here, into a new support, which tells me that the deepest we'll probably go is down to this wick right here. I don't think we'll actually even go deeper than that on this next correction. And let me share why. So I'm going to pull up some indicators. First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about what's going on immediately. We've had multiple daily closes below the 8 simple moving average and also the 1 fib extension. That 1 fib extension is the measured highs back from the April 14th all-time high. I'm going to leave these fibs up because this is the most important fib retrace pull for the rest of the bull run. So anybody who's working on charts right now, the easiest way to use your fibs would be to pull from the highs of this year down to the swing lows of this year, and that'll give you a good idea of where a 1618 is. And that's, you know, the first big resistance level when you enter what's called price discovery. So the long and short of it is we are trading below the prior highs with multiple daily candles, also below the 8 simple moving average, This 13 exponential moving average, the blue line, is holding as a strong support on the closures, but we can still see how much we like to backtest this orange moving average, which is the 21 exponential moving average. That's a key level, okay? When we close below this 21 exponential moving average, you would expect a swipe down to the 34 EMA. This 34 EMA has not actually been tested. We got through it on October 1st, but it's been 44 days. And since we've actually touched it and traded around it was, wow, a long time ago. We're talking 50. Well, that's kind of ironic. 55, 44. Well, anyways, it's been a while is what I'm trying to say. So we almost got to it back on this correction here on October 28th, but we actually haven't traded alongside it. Now, it would be normal for us to backtest that level, and because this 34 EMA is right in line with the 888, which is the prior support level that we've been trading on ever since we broke out bullish, it would not be weird for me to see another test of 60K again, or a sub $61,000 Bitcoin, but I do not see us going below that. I think we will hold support there. These wicks around 59,700 are very telling that there's a buy wall there. A buy wall meaning that they do not want it going lower than 60K. Every time that it was going below 60K, it was bought up very fast, kind of the way that it was going back here. Every time that it was penetrating below 40, there was something to get it bought right back up. And that's how they shake people out. It's called a bear trap. So essentially right here, you have your bull trap, and then you get a final bear trap before continuation. If this was perceived on a Wyckoff schematic, I would I'll bring it down into smaller time frames just so we could see. So we're on the 4-hour chart right now. This would be right here, your buying climax. After your buying climax, you have what's called a supply test on the upside, just to check supply and see if we'll continue up. And that was a huge rejection. So you have the Twin Towers candles followed by a big sharp move to the upside, bull trap down into your selling climax. So this was your true selling climax. If you notice where that level is right there, it is basically all around the prior trading range. Okay. So this could look like a cup and handle to some people. This is your cup. This is your handle. I don't want to talk about that though, because I just want to show you the Wyckoff. So right here, we have buying climax, supply test on the upside, selling climax down here, and then this could be a failed automatic rally. And if I wanted to show you exactly how this would play out, I'd pull fibs from the current highs down to the swing lows of the selling climax. And you can see where we're trading right now is essentially along the 236 fib. That's always your main support level. Where did we get rejected? Back here, basically last night on the 382. That's very normal. Whenever you're getting an automatic rally, that's indicative of a move up to the 0.5 fib or as high as the 786, the golden pocket. This 0.5 fib is a textbook level for a rejection for what's called a dead cat bounce. A dead cat bounce would be a move up into the 0.5 fib, a rejection at the 0.5 fib, and then new lows. So this was your low. Once you break below this low right here, that would be called a dead cat bounce. And when you're doing this dead cat bounce, you would look for a support level, which in this case, you can see the 200 exponential moving average is right in line with this green line. And this green line going across the screen is the 888 fib. Exactly what I said about the daily close. So let me turn off some of these moving averages and just show you what's going on here. Also, let me get rid of this fib. And you can see that the 8 and the 55 are really hugging together. That's the wolf cross. And this is showing me that this might flip as a new resistance. But we are in a short-term uptrend. We have low, higher low, higher low. Let's go into the larger time frame. And you could see this 55 on the 8 hours looking pretty good. Let's look at the 6. Squeezing together. It keeps doing this. So it keeps plummeting down and then immediately getting bought up. It's happening again and again and again and again. And this is really not the time to be trading. I gave a signal to the trading wolves right when we entered the weekend on Friday. And I told them, I consider this weekend a no trade zone because I knew how this market was going to be. It's going to be choppy. That's always how a market is after it hits a new all-time high. It gets choppy and sideways and weird, and it just makes people get into really stupid trades while we're in the middle of a trading range. You never want to be entering trades in the middle. You want to be building positions on support when you're talking longs, and you want to be building positions at resistance when you're talking shorts. So on the daily, this is looking precarious. Of course, we're still crossed bearish on the daily MACD. 2-day MACD is bearish. 3-day MACD is squeezing together, so that's a sign. I don't know if that'll necessarily cross low, though. So now we're going to move on to our macro time frame analysis. We're going to start at our weekly. Of course, our weekly close is crucial. I'm going to turn off the drawings because they're not necessary at this time. And we're just going to be working with our moving averages. So remember what I told everyone? I do not really see a back test of this yellow moving average on the weekly chart. That would be the 8 simple moving average. We're at the stage of the bull run in November where we typically will not back test this level. And you see where that is? It's 57. So I've told you I do not really see lower than 57 at this time ever again. Even below 60, if it goes below 60, it's going to be a quick flash and probably get bought up instantaneously. So let's turn on the Bollinger Bands and see what else is going on here. So yeah, we actually did have a weekly close above the Bollinger Band on October 11th, but now you can see the topside band is showing resistance. So that's a good thing. I like to have a last minute buying opportunity before we go parabolic. I'm sure everyone does. So let's go to the 3-day chart. Okay, so the 3-day closes tonight. So take note of this. The weekly closes, the 3-day, and the 2-day closes tonight. So 3-day, 2-day are pretty critical. So you can see that we're actually looking really good on the 3-day. Our backtest level is just the prior resistance in the fractal. We're above the 8 simple moving average. That's very good. And you could see that our 34 exponential moving average now has surpassed the Rosh Hashanah highs. This is looking very good on the 3-day, okay? Because we're in full bullish posture across the board. We have the 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, and the 200s are situated with the 200 EMA above this simple moving average. That's doesn't get much better than this, especially back testing on closure highs on the prior all-time highs. From a technical perspective, this is beautiful. Looking like a little doji tonight in the making on the 2-day. The same story on the 2-day pretty much, with exception of this 200 and EMA and SMA merging together. That's really interesting to see, but I'm not really too concerned with that right now at this stage of the bull run. This is looking great. Uptrend. And our 21 EMA, very similar to the daily 21 EMA. That's the 21 EMA on the 2-day and the 3-day do matter a lot. And you could see right now it's sitting at 60K on the nose. So any daily closures above 60K, we know this is going to move up tonight, probably to 60.5. And that's been my downside area for like a last minute move to the downside. It was this 65 level. I'm really interested in that level because of all the TA that I've done. So that level would also coincide slightly above on the 34 EMA on the daily chart. Basically, anything above 59K is what I see happening on the last move. And remember, I've taught you guys a lot of the gematria that goes along with this from all my YouTube videos that I've been pulling out. So we have the 7th of September over till today. This will be the 69th day tomorrow since Rosh Hashanah. Why is 69 important? Well, it comes back to Saturn, and 69 is the as above, so below. It's the yin yang. So that's all about balance, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Also, if we go from Rosh Hashanah over to 72 days, that's the 18th. That's the day before the full moon. That is standing out to me because 72 is a big number. But more importantly, we have 66 days coming up. Oh, excuse me. Never mind. Disregard what I just said. I wanted to measure from the absolute last low we got in September 21st over to 56 days, and that puts us at the 16th of November, and then I'll go over 18 days. That puts us at the 18th of November. So this tells me, based on the 56 to 58 day bottoms, there is an opportunity for the 16th through 18th to have a little bit of a move. And I don't know how strong it's going to be for Bitcoin at this point because it's already been holding up really nicely. If I was to go off highs to 65 or 60,500, excuse me, I know I'm talking a little fast. Or let's just go straight to 60. That would be a 13% pullback. And we know Bitcoin really likes those those 13% pullbacks. I've discussed that in prior YouTube videos as well. So yeah, I mean, if that happened by the 18th, it would only be 60,000. And then remember, to get to 144,000 would only be a double from there. And that's very normal for Bitcoin. Bitcoin does that in its sleep. So let's just say we did back test 60K, okay? Let's just analyze this for a moment. And I'm still looking for that 140,000 at the end. So I'm going to go from the 18th of November. I know this is fucking crazy, by the way. Like, I don't know if the... I suspect the lows will come in earlier, like the 16th. That's just me, though. Okay? If we go to the 4th of December, that's 140%. Oh my God, imagine it went up 144%. Let's see what that would look like. That's fucked up. Sorry, I know I'm like getting all over the place, but I think it would be really fascinating if we went up 144% to 144,000. That would be 58,900. That would be like, imagine imagine we did that. How crazy would that be? 144% up to 144,000 in, let's see how many days that is. In 18 days. Woo, that'd be crazy. But let's look at other bull runs and see why that's not crazy. Okay, first of all, we have the beginning of the year, which just off of the lows of December into January, you can see the high from the low of December, where we had our like little correction, over to the highs of January 8th was 140%. And this wasn't a blow off top. This was just the start of the rally and continuation onto 3 new waves of all-time highs. So that was 140%. And remember, we were just talking about 144%. That's not a lot for Bitcoin and crypto. Let's go back to the prior bull run. You see, this is a blow off top. This shit just went up in a straight line. So let's go off this correction right here, which was November 12th, up. And you could see to 19,700, that was 258% in 30 days, guys. Like, that's pretty mind-blowing. Like, that's a scary amount of upside momentum. Look at this. This is even more steep. So we're going to go off of the lows of November, because I like this exercise of going off the lows of November up to the highs, 300%. So if we did 300% in the 2013 bull run and then 200+% in the 2017 bull run, would it be weird to go up 140% in this bull run? No, it would make so much sense. So don't deny that possibility for Bitcoin in that period of time, because it's happened more than once. And, you know, I think I answered a lot of questions today. I answered the question of where Bitcoin's going and why, in my opinion, where it's going to go in the bear market and why it's only going to correct 60 to 65%. And also, how is it possible for us to go from where we are now to 144,000 given that December 4th is so close? I answered that as well. So I pretty much answered every important question I've been seeing surface. Nobody should have to ask these questions anymore. They could just be referred to Red Pill episode number 33. So yeah, I mean, in regards to the rest of today, it is around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means that we have about 5 hours to go until the CME, the Forex, and Dow Jones open around 6 to 7 p.m. And then, of course, since we had daylight savings time, the new daily close is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This market runs on Eastern Standard Time, okay? And that will be 7 p.m. when we're going to get our 3-day, 2-day, and weekly closure. Something important to keep. I wonder if we're bi-weekly as well. No. So we have a bi-weekly coming in on the 22nd of November, which will be after the full moon. And let me see where the Bollinger Bands are. Yeah, I mean, if we close that bi-weekly above 70, that would make so much sense for a rally. Because bi-weekly closures above the topside Bollinger Band, like you could see right here, it just leads to a massive rally to the upside. So that's another gem I just shared, everyone. Closing above this topside Bollinger Band on the bi-weekly next week, huge sign of a parabolic move in the making. So this is like our last week for long entries, essentially. Excuse me. So I don't want to harp on this too much. I gave upside targets. I are obvious at this point. Anything above 69,000 or a daily close above 67,600 would be indicative of a swipe up to 70, and we would start trading in new highs. On the downside, I see this 34 EMA being backtested at least one time, and that is in line with our 888 fib. And I could also see a little drag down to 59,000, but it would be fast. It would be very quick. Move down to that level and most likely continue staying in structure of highs. So anything lower than 59.5, which is the wick right here on November 1st, that would make our structure look like a double bottom. But I do see that 59.5 being a key level to hold on a dip. More likely 60 is going to hold though, because we just have so much trading range being held at those levels. And if we only got to the 888 fib, I would feel confident in that bounce level as well from a technical perspective, and just checking in on prior bull runs. This is like the most comprehensive TA I've ever done on Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum. You guys know these red pill episodes, man. They're jam-packed with value. Pour my soul into these. Okay, so we can see ETH is showing us some signs of losing support at the bottom side of this parallel channel as of today. A daily close below this 13 exponential moving average would close us outside of this for the first time since September 29th, which is 46 days. So where do we go next? Well, the 21 exponential, which is sitting right there on 44,000, that would make a lot of sense. Also, we have the one spot fib extension, which is the prior all-time high, and you could see the back test of this wick showing a clear rejection. There was a wick right here on November 6th showing the 4,350 level as strength. But I also see there being a correlation now with Bitcoin where this 34 exponential has yet to be backtested all the way since pretty much the same time as Bitcoin. So that would be a key level, but we know that altcoins can bleed. So we have a lot of trading range around the 888 fib. I think Bitcoin and ETH might make the same exact move where they correct to the 888 for a final moment. And 60K for Bitcoin is like $4,000 for Ethereum. It's a strong level. And I would be anticipating a bounce because that would be a pretty big move from highs to, actually, no. It'd only be 16%. So down to 4,000 exactly would be somewhere around 18%. And this 55 simple moving average is moving up pretty quickly. So given that we get our lows for the altcoins around the full moon on the 19th, that would put this 55 simple moving average pretty much in range of the $4,000 area. So keep an eye out for this 55 simple moving average because that's a very important level for holding. You could see it here. ETH was bouncing into it before continuation. I don't think we're going to have a big W though. I think we're just going to get what's called an LPS. So here we have buying climax, selling climax, double bottom test on the downside. No spring though. It's fucking very strong. Then an automatic rally followed by, it was a bull trap because it came all the way down to the 382. That would be your supply test. Or, you could call this LPS for sure. And then you have this straight line. ETH has really been killing it, man. I was so glad when I bought that dip back here. But yeah, so this would be our SOS, sign of strength, because we've broken prior all-time highs. So sign of strength typically gets an LPS, one last point of support, or one last point of supply. And today's closure might be the moment because we'd be getting a close below the parallel channel, which has been holding a very strong support, plus a close below the 13 exponential moving average. And then this 21, close below the 21 would be huge. So we'll have to see how the CME opens tonight, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, because ETH is also trading on the CME. It'd be really interesting to see if they short this shit into the weekly close because it's so extended above the 8 simple moving average on the weekly for both Bitcoin and Ethereum that it wouldn't even matter if they shorted us down like a lot. Like technically we are so far away from these levels. Oh, also look at 3950, which I was just showing you on the 55 simple moving average for the daily, is sitting right around that same level, the 8 simple moving average, which is the prior highs of around Rosh Hashanah. So again, I don't know if we'll backtest the 8, but it's amazing how it's at the same level that I was predicting for this 55 simple moving average to get as we get closer to the full moon, the Beaver full moon. So yeah, I mean, on the downside, that's probably where I'll look to 4K, which is around the 888 fib. I would not get greedy on the downside at this stage of the bull run. Bounces are fast, so got to just be prepared. And then on the upside, any closures above this heart line right here, you could see this dotted yellow line. Any closures above this heart line, which would also be closures on new highs, I would suspect we're going to start to see ETH move parabolically following Bitcoin. And remember, though, this stage in the bull run is when ETH will have a large correction with the blow off top of Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin hits the all-time high around the 4th, if that even happens, but that's how I'm seeing it. When it hits that all-time high, it's going to pull back pretty quickly by 30 to 40%, and ETH is also going to pull back by 30 to 40%. So it's something to keep in mind. Unless ETH just wants to decouple from its prior bull run and create a whole new bull run, that would be fucking awesome. But up until about here, ETH had the same exact bull run as 2017. It hit highs around May, June, came down into lows around June, July, had a fake out bull trap into September, Rosh Hashanah, and then another final pullback before continuation. It was identical to 2017, literally the same structure. So just something to keep in mind. And then also for talking about the strength of ETH, we have our bullish cross of the 200 exponential above the 200 simple moving average. Let's look at the MACD real quick. So MACD on the daily is starting to posture bearish, but that's great because this thing needed to cool off anyways. It's about to cross potentially on the 2-day. I don't know. It'd have to happen fast. 3 days looking insane. Yeah, this is just looking so strong. So with any pullbacks on ETH, it's a gift, a literal gift. This coin is kicking ass lately. Let's go to XRP. Okay, XRP. We already did the TA all this week, kind of discussing why it went to $1.34. I showed you guys with Gematria. So we're starting to get a daily bearish cross on MACD. That's great. I love to see this choppy and sideways because the more time XRP stays sideways and choppy, that means it's gonna fucking explode. This coin, the more sideways, the better. And I can't believe how sideways it's been because that's a call that I made so long ago. I basically just said expect sideways all the way until December. So it's beautiful how sideways this has been. And I still see break of golden pocket by the by the beginning of December when Bitcoin starts to rally is when we'll start to see a 160, 170 XRP. And then most likely a back test of the 618 right here, which you can see is right in line with the Rosh Hashanah highs, and then just boom, straight line, craziness. I'm excited. So here we are, we're in the final moments, and as of right now, it's just chop. So on the downside, this 55 simple moving average would be a normal level to backtest, which would be around $1.09. But because we came down to 110, 111 on that wick right there, and then this wick, we are showing structure, but ultimately I would just still anticipate new higher lows. So this 382 I've been talking about a lot lately, and we've yet to backtest it since we broke below it on October 27th, which was quite a while now, almost 3 weeks ago. I do think the 382 would be a nice last level. Does it need to go that low? Absolutely not. But that would be a technical level that I would look for. Somewhere around the 55 simple moving average with a wick down to the 382 followed by a bounce. So it'd be, like we have the 19th right here around this. It would just be like boom, boom, like something like that, where it would start to get above the golden pocket into the early December area. It would literally look like this. So something to keep in mind. Not much to say, though. because until we start closing above the 140 level, we're essentially just sideways. So I've been saying this for weeks. I don't want to beat down on this too much and make the episode longer than it needs to be. I just see the 382 being a solid backtest level, the 55 simple moving average being a good backtest level. Any daily closes below the 21 exponential, which is essentially where we're trading at now, within 2 cents, a swipe down to the 34. And you could see how well the 34 acts on wicks for XRP. So for those XRP traders out there, the 34 exponential moving average on the daily is a great level for scalps. So we see these bigger corrections along the 34, and then you could do some pretty, even this was like a 5-day swing trade, 24-day swing trade to 5 days, 22%. But, you're talking on 3x leverage. That's a good trade. Anywho, this isn't trading advice. Let's move on to our altcoin section. Okay, number 1, Phantom. I don't think I've ever done TA on this, so here we are. Oh, goodness. Okay, so it's one of those coins that is already broken out. Oof, hell of a fucking run on this one. I think there's a huge parallel channel on this we could actually draw out. I hope you guys all enjoyed Roast Hour, altcoin Roast Hour last week. Hopefully it's not the same this time. Maybe not off of there. It's obviously not easy to just randomly pull these up. Although I don't think this is important. Like, this doesn't really serve a purpose in today's TA. Yeah, I'm not going to fuck around with this too much because I don't see this having that big of a correction. So unless we were in a different stage of the bull run, that parallel channel might have made sense for a support line, but I don't think it's going to have that dramatic of a move down at this stage. But there's a serious bearish divergence on this. Like, you can see right here, RSI getting around 90, while the price action was at $1.97, and then successive highs, but with a lower RSI. So the RSI is clearly on a downtrend, right? While the price action is on an uptrend. And this is the daily chart. This is not good. I would have taken profits on this probably already. Let me see where the fib pull on this is. I guess we could technically pull it at this level down to the swing low right there. Oh yeah, it's already hit the 4236. Yeah, I don't like this. For whoever's in this, be careful. I'm not telling you to sell it, but you have to be careful. Look at where it hit. It perfectly hit the 4236, which is what I teach people. I teach everyone. When you pull your fibs at the stage of the bull run from swing high to swing low, anticipate the next big swipe up is the 4236. So I'm sure this shit got overheated on market cap, and then the New World Order just shifted the market cap, and this is kind of where it is. So if it could hold the 236, which is around the 55 simple moving average on the daily, that's great. This will be a final LPS before a last minute push, but this is overheated, guys. It went literally perfect to the 236, so the 4236. So let me see if there's any Gematria that's coming up with 37s. I'm not going to do this on all the coins, but oh, it has that 69. That's important. Okay, so it doesn't have the 370. Ooh, it has the 108 though. Yeah, and we're in the 45th week of the year, right? So is this weird? No. Let me just quickly see what week number we're in, because I know we're transitioning. Yeah, we're in the 45th week of the year, and it hit its high in that week. Yeah. I mean, that 39 in English Ordinal, it gives me a little bit of like feeling that we might take one little swoop, but like, yeah, this is not good. It went up in a straight line, got rejected at the 432. It has a noticeable bearish divergence on the daily chart. Histogram bearish on MACD on the daily, the 2-day, and the 3-day is about to cross today on the daily close. And if this 3-day closes below the 13 exponential on the 3-day, that's a sign of weakness. So yeah, this might form... Yeah, I don't like this. I wouldn't get involved in this. Anyone who's in this, don't touch this coin. If you're in it already, congratulations. Start de-risking, though. Not financial advice. In an alt season, this thing can absolutely melt to the upside. So I'm by no means telling you what to do with your money. It's just this shit does not look good right now. Okay, maybe it goes to $6.90, which wouldn't be completely out of the cards because that would be around the 8-spot fib extension. So let's just say it did come down and correct a little bit more into the full moon around this 21 exponential of $2.16. You know, you're looking at an additional maybe 200% to the upside, but is that really an opportunity? Absolutely not. Like Zilliqa and T-Fuel and Cardano will even outperform this at this stage based on where Cardano's situated and where this is situated. So it's not normal for coins like this to hit into the 10 spot, 11 spot fib extension. You know, it's possible because anything's possible in the matrix. But yeah, I mean, $10.80, even that would be like really unlikely. So we just have to see. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say. This looks like it's already had a bull run. And now it's ready to have a very last minute maybe pump and then done. So this is oh my God. 223,000%? Yeah, I would get out of this shit. Oh my God, congrats. Whoever bought this shit like a year and a half ago, you're a legend, dude. This is like one of those coins that people sell early because they never imagined it would do this. Congratulations, Phantom. Woo! This is crazy. What a fucking performance. 200,000%. Like, see, I'm not shitting on this thing. The technicals are telling me this is overheated. I would get out. Especially if I was in back here. You know, if you're already up fucking 100,000%, what are you doing with this thing? And of course, everyone wanted me to talk about this because it's at all-time highs. That's when everyone wants me to talk about the like coins when they're at highs, sadly. Next coin, Eosphorus, Lucifer. So this one had a really weird blow off top kind of thing going on. Yeah, I don't like this. This is an OG coin. This coin actually went through an SEC thing like Ripple's going through. I'm not sure if you guys knew that. Okay, it's below the 236, like a lot, and it's below the 200 simple moving average, and it's the structure on this is awful. Yeah, this is a god-awful chart. From pandemic lows to where it is today, it's up 200%. That means Bitcoin is outperforming this thing. This is a shit coin. Yeah, I would not get involved in this. It's so bad. Like, you know when Bitcoin's outperforming a coin, that it's like, yikes. So yeah, this is a great coin to be in 2017. It literally went up in a straight line, but look at what it did. It only went up 4,000%. Like, that's normal. There's so many coins this bull run that went up 40,000%. So yeah, I mean, this is clearly one of those coins that retail doesn't give a shit about. The New World Order just chops it around. You could see it's choppy. It's kind of like XRP actually, in regards to the choppy and suppressed nature of it. But yeah, I'm not like, I can't instantly say anything good about this. How does it have an 80% pullback when it's only up 200% from pandemic lows? You see how bad that is? Like, you were probably better off investing in Tesla or just like tech stock. Yeah, I wouldn't. No, I don't have anything to say about this. Not good. Yeah, how much lower could it go, you know, on a pullback? It'll hold $4 probably, and then it needs to do something, but I don't. Yeah, bad chart. I'm going to move on because there's really nothing to say about it. In an alt season, perhaps it'll go up to the 1618. Maybe it'll, I mean, I know Lucifer equals the 74, right? Yeah, Lucifer equals 74, so I think this is how you spell it. Yeah, the 47. So yeah, that's possible. 46, 47. That'd be technically possible. It's a hell of a move for how bad this coin is, but it ultimately at the end of the day, it's only about 800%. So yeah, I don't want to get involved in that. Next one. Oh, gonna do Digibyte. DGB. So Digibyte is one of those coins that, again, gets slept on in people's opinions because, like, I love looking at this chart sometimes just to remind myself of how crazy crypto is. So if you got in this coin at the bottoms around 2015 into, let's just even put it up a little bit higher just for, and then you went, you're talking about hitting the high around 17 cents. That's almost 300,000%. So this is one of those coins that, like, it can move. It moves. I don't know how it's going to move at the end of this bull run. You can see here it went up 30,000% in 11 days, dude. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Who would have thought? That's like the XRP breakout. That's how XRP moved in its first spike when it was like sub 1 penny. Oh my god, dude. Oh, sorry, I lied. I'm so sorry. I was looking at bars. I meant to say 77 days. Apologize, but still, come on. 30,000% in fucking less than 3 months. Face melting. Look at that, 60,000% in a year. What an investment. So yeah, this coin can pump. It can move. And the fact that it can move, it makes you have some hope, you know? Let's look at how high up it is off the pandemic lows, and I'll just go off of low closures. You know, we're talking about 1,700%, 18, almost 2,000% up. It's a big stark difference between that EOS chart we just looked at, right? Okay. So, yeah, this of course had a larger pullback as expected, 80%. It's not, that wasn't weird from May to the lows of the summertime of August, June, July. So on the weekly, what I would like to see is my wolf cross with the 8 above the 55, which we're yet to see that confirmed. Let's look at the 5-day chart. 5-day chart showing resistance at the 55 simple moving average, which is the 236. So that's why it's struggling at this 7 to 8 cent level, just so you guys know. It's because of the technicals, and this looks like a very clear W. So on the W, it's not going to move up much. It's only going to go into the golden pocket. I decoded this coin, by the way, too. So for anyone who wants to watch that decode, go to the Patreon, go to my posts, and you can sort my posts by Gematria Masterclass. You're going to see 5 videos in there. One of them is a full-blown decode on Digibyte. So can this coin move up? Is the question. Can it move up to the 4236? Let's just see. So we know Digibyte can move. Can it go up a 10x in the next 55 days? Sure can. This coin moved up tens of thousands of percent in a short in only a little bit longer than that. So I don't know how it's going to go 100%. I don't have the time to really look into this coin too much. It's only a small position in my portfolio, but I do have a position in Digi, and I might get a little more depending on how this full moon goes. I mean, on the full moon pullback, I would suspect this 200 exponential will play a good key role in any pullbacks, but really this chart looks bad, and this is how these sorts of tokens look on the technical level, because they pump, they dump, they're really volatile. And that's why I call them venture capital. Venture capital is like sub 3% allocations in your portfolio. Stuff that you could put a very little in because it has insane, it just chops around. It's erratic. You put a very little and you hold for a long enough time, you exit, and you could make substantial amounts of money on low risk. It's a lower risk because you made it a lower percentage of your portfolio. It's higher risk because the type of coin you're working with, but it has some chart history to show you the past performance. So anyways, daily close is above the 382 fib, and then I would anticipate a flash up to the golden pocket. For now, though, I do see a potential 0.55052 cent retrace for the full moon, and then I think it'll start going pretty parabolic into the month of January. Let's move on to, let's get these off. ALBT, Alliance Block. It's a coin I've talked about in the past. I think I got another good chart for it. Ooh. This thing looks like it's spelling out a word for me. Okay, not a lot of chart history on these. Also, if I get high votes on certain coins and I don't cover it, it's because the chart history isn't there. So if people want me to look into like Smooth Love Potion coin or KY Jelly coin or Trojan Condom coin, the reason I'm not looking at it is because I have no chart. So if you guys want to put entries for coins for me to look at, you need to just please check and see if TradingView has a chart available. And if the chart's available and it only has 100 days of price action, there is no TA I could do on it. It's just not a sufficient enough amount of data. Anyways, this is a clear crown top distribution. And then this move right here was an absolutely mind-blowing move, because you can see there was a clean W breakout, back tested this region of what was support, what was support, and then that fake out right there is like a mini backup phase before continuation. This is a very erratic looking chart. Let's see where it's at. I assume it's new. Yeah, 2,000% gains. It's looking all right. This looks like a cup and handle is probably going to happen. So keep an eye out for that. Ooh, lots of volatility though. These candles, like look at this one, 32%. For what? For what reason? Like, anyways, you could see that these 200s are now starting to aggregate a little data. Like you see how recently these 200 moving averages just got here. It's because these charts aren't long enough history. It's hard to do TA on them. So this is venture capital stuff. You could put a little bit in it, make a lot. You just got to know how to play the swings, and RSI might be able to tell you. So yeah, we do have some divergences forming. Yeah, I would just think this will be a final cup and handle before continuation to the upside. I'll pull up some fibs and see if we can get some upside levels and then move on, because there's not a whole lot to say about a coin with so little chart history. And I don't give a shit about the technology or any of that. It doesn't matter. We're at the end of a bull run. None of this matters. It wouldn't even matter if we were in a bear market, actually, too, because shit coins can go up hundreds of thousands of percent with zero use case and zero technology. So this is back testing the one spot fib, which it's already done again, kind of double toppy in a sense. We got a good wolf cross there. And this 55 is situated above the 786. Even the 200 moving averages are getting into the golden pocket. That's very strong. Let's see where our 21 is on the daily. Yeah, the moving averages are all in bullish posture on the daily chart, so this looks actually pretty solid. The 888 retest would be in the cards for sure. So anywhere around the 888 down to the 55 simple moving average would be the opportunity. But this really hasn't moved up to crazy levels just yet. I think this will easily get to the 4236 and probably even higher. Yeah, I don't have any time to do any coding on this, but yeah, decode this a little bit, see where it matches up with your fibs above the 4236, and you probably get some surprising numbers. So yeah, very volatile though, choppy, big candles on this one. You could just see they're all laid out. 32% on this candle. 32% on this candle. It just fucking moves. This is very choppy. I don't like coins like this. I wouldn't put a lot of money in stuff like that unless it was very low, like unless we were in a bear market. But at this stage in the bull run, it's a little risky to hold above 2% positions in projects like this. We're going to move on to Zilliqa. And a quick note on GZIL. Not a lot of chart history on GZIL, but okay, so we're seeing that Zilliqa, my Zilliqa chart's disgusting, by the way. This is one of my top coins, so I do ridiculous TA on it sometimes. Sorry about that. So this does matter, though, this red trend line. So this red trend line is clear. It is showing me that it's in alignment with the 236. This is very suppressed. This is looking, again, very similar to XRP, where it's just trading sideways. It's building a lot of strength, and when it pops, it pops. You know, you could see, look at this. Brazil from September to the new year, 2,000%, no problem. From the pandemic lows up to highs, we're looking at 8,000%, and it's still below all-time highs. You know, it did get into price discovery for like 2 or 3 days, but this is a massive cup and handle formation in the cards. Yeah, this, if I could rewind time, I would have had a different perspective on this coin, but because I've made such good plays on this coin, like getting in at 2 cents, and I de-risked into 20 cents at 10x, and then I got to buy back in at around the 8 cent level. Like, I am not salty about this because I know TA and I was able to situate myself in a good position. Now, the end of this bull run, I'm just really intrigued by, like, how is this going to go? It's one of the reasons I did build a little bit more of a position in it a couple days ago. I shared that on the what I'm buying and selling. I let everyone know the exact price that I purchased it at. And I might buy a little more, but we just have to see how this goes. The only thing that's keeping me really attracted to how this bull run is going to end is because of this red trend line right here. You can see that it was the final support, resistance, 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 and then it was resistance on every single new high on the yearly. So where this aligns at the end of the bull run, if I just put it into like January, the first week of January, right? It's at $1.70. Okay. So I'm just saying, like, Zilliqa have 2. Yeah. So look, Chaldean is 17. So 170 is not weird because of this trend line. Now that's a hell of a move, of course. Of course. It's 1,600%, but that's how bull runs end, especially on suppressed coins. So if XRP decides to get into double digits, I don't see how it would be out of the cards for ZIL to make a similar move. So I'm not done betting on ZIL because of the TA and because of how suppressed it is. And when it moves very similarly to XRP. But as for the technicals on the shorter term timeframes and everything all considered, it's bad. It doesn't look good. It's very choppy. Although it didn't blow off top, so it was looking very strong essentially all last year. It looked very, very good until this larger correction. It's become very stable. And that stability has been building around prior resistance, which became flipped as support. And then now it's just showing me that it definitely has some room to improve. The retail have weak hands on this, but the New World Order isn't done with it. It could be because of some of the technological aspects. I don't know. I don't really want to go there. But the sharding is definitely groundbreaking. Let's move on. GZIL, quick thoughts, and then our last coin. Ooh, this is bad. Okay. So yeah, I remember when GZIL was sitting at like 600. And then ever since I think the staking stopped earning on GZIL, it's definitely taken a hit. It was at 90% losses. Holy shit. So yeah, this is looking really bad. This is a selling climax. This is an automatic rally, and this could be our final shakeout to the downside. Maybe settle at the $65 level if this wants to get even bloodier, and then we would have our SOS with any moves up to here. GZIL might be a long-term venture capital play, just because of the fact that you stopped earning it by staking ZIL. You can no longer get governance ZIL in earned rewards for staking Zilliqa. So now it's going to become scarce, anyways, I don't want to get too deep into that, but I might not sell my GZIL. I don't have a ton of GZIL, but I might just hold on to them for the next bull run because I don't think Zilliqa is going anywhere. I'll have to see. If I decide to sell it, I will absolutely be transparent and let everyone know. But yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to this one like a gem. Shit coin. Absolutely horrible. So yeah, I mean, $2,400 be a big move. I don't know. I mean, if I see it start to break into the 1618, I might get ready to sell it. But if it doesn't get to these levels, I might not. I earned the shit for free, so I mean, whatever. $1,000 per GZIL would be amazing, right? Every one GZIL you earned, you're getting a grand for free. So I think that'll be a good thesis. I'll keep that in mind. If it starts to approach these levels, I mean, that's a hell of a move though for a governance token. So we'll see. But if ZIL makes it to $1.70, I don't see why this wouldn't move even potentially higher. Just have to kind of give it some time, and I will leave GZIL because I just noticed they added it to TradingView. I wasn't able to find it for quite a while. Final thoughts on a coin called Band Protocol. You guys know about Band Protocol? It was pretty popular back when Chainlink was doing its thing, and then it kind of shit hit the fan on it. but it's in a similar concept as Zilliqa, where it had nice move, big structural top, not a blow off, came down with a larger correction, clear W followed by an automatic rally, and now it's just having its supply test. It does look like a clean uptrend around the 236, very similar to ZIL. So this one will probably have a nice surge as well. It's a suppressed coin with some opportunity. Talking about opportunities today, guys. Lots of important notes here. And $88 would not be weird to me. I unstaked all my band protocol to get ready to sell it. I had it on 13% earned interest on Atomic Wallet. So for anyone who has banned, you definitely unstake that shit soon, because I think it has like a 21-day unbounding period, and that doesn't give you a lot of time to get out. So anyone who's staking right now, be cognizant that the bull run's about to end, and you do need to have a strategy to get these coins unbounded, to put them on exchanges and sell them. So this is just, I wanted to bring this up as a potential opportunity. Of course, the chart looks shit, but this is how altcoins act. And any closures above the 382 around $12, I anticipate this swiping back up to the prior all-time highs. And this final movement down here is called it could be called a test or just a supply test in Wyckoff method, a final little flat line, bore you out of the market before continuation. And I don't have more than a 5%. I think I have a 4 or 5% position in this, so it's not a huge position on my portfolio by any means. I hold way more Chainlink, but as an Oracle protocol, I do see it being part of the future. I don't see Band going anywhere. And because Link has ties to Microsoft, obviously there's something to be said there. Maybe touch on Link in the next episode. So yeah, we're going to wrap this up now. Anyone who has joined the Mastermind community and you've not been given access to the Discord just yet, remember to direct message me on Patreon with your Discord username, and the last 4 digits after your username will get you onboarded into the Mastermind community by tomorrow. And got that new merch available on watersabove.shop. Also, I have my website, watersabovecrypto.com. So that has both of my courses available on it for anyone who's looking to get any of my educational materials. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their beautiful weekend in the Matrix. Much love.